Hello, I'm Hushi, and I'm an artist, which you probably know if you found this video because I probably either showed it to you or linked it from something that I do. Today, I am going to show you how to draw from your imagination. There are some books that I would recommend on the topic. One of the books that I think is easiest to find and probably least expensive is the original How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. It is an excellent, excellent resource, all in one book for drawing comics and in general drawing. There are some of the things in it which are kind of outdated by now, but you can still really, really take a lot from it. Most of the stuff that's outdated is about traditional style tools that you probably won't use unless you are an actual comic artist that does traditional style work. Today, I'm going to show you, and probably going to figure out myself, how to draw a little corgi. As we all know, corgis are adorable, and they are fun little dogs. They have a lot of energy, and, well, they're really cute and fun to draw, so I thought I would learn with you. One of the things that How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way tells you is that you can break things down in your mind into fundamental shapes. That's how I draw. With comics and art in general, you don't have to get it photorealistic. A lot of people have the misconception that photorealism is better. It is not. I always like to kind of stimulate the imagination and involve the person looking at the art or reading the comic in the process of sort of making the art. They kind of complete it with their minds. So don't feel like you have to do something that's super photorealistic because, quite frankly, I think it's a mistake to view photorealism as the ultimate goal or the best or whatever. So, because corgis are small dogs, I'm going to start on this layer here. I have created a sketch square, which is an it's an actual square. It's 1800 by 1800 pixels. It's 300 dpi, which is dots per inch. 300 is a perfectly fine dpi to work at for any art. You really don't need anything higher than that unless you are printing and it's a very demanding printing. I have never really used much more than 300 dpi, personally. So I honestly don't think you really should have to worry about that very much. Now, you'll probably see the navigator over here in the top right, and currently it is at 90.4%. If I want to do it at 100%, I would do this little square here. Ta-da! It's at 100%. And I can go 200, 300, back out to 100, or fit it in the window that it is currently in. That's a little easy little thing to know. You can actually put it on your, if you have a graphics tablet or something, you can map the buttons to zooming in, zooming out, etc. Make it easy for yourself. I always work with graphics tablet, and you can get fairly inexpensive ones now. I would not recommend starting off with a, what is it called? Wacom. Don't start off with a Wacom, and especially don't start off with like a high-end Wacom, because you really don't know how you're going to feel about it. And you can get cheaper ones that are larger and easier to adjust to. So I would just say get one that's inexpensive. There are plenty that are under 200, 150. There are some that are even under 100 with shipping. So look around and decide what you want. To start with the corgi, I'm going to do a sort of oval shape. This will be the corgi's body. And you don't have to be super neat. You can be very, very sketchy and very, very messy. So for corgi feet, we're going to want a basic, this kind of shape. You know, sort of like when you play croquet and you put down little things. So just flesh that out a bit. You want to do like sort of sort of trapezoidal sort of shapes. And at the bottom, we're going to make little circles. So we just do this, little circles. Corgis don't usually have much in the way of a tail, so we can just put a placeholder there. Corgis do have an adorable sort of oblong face and big, big ears. So put the big, big ears there. We can add like a little angle there. And let's make little eyes. And they look kind of creepy now, but that's okay. And we'll put a nose here. And because they have sort of, dogs have a sort of a snout. But, all right, just draw like a happy little face here and finish drawing the mouth. You're going to want to do the jaw and make it a complete shape. All right, that is a cute Corgi sketch, but we're also going to have to develop it. So I would like you to erase the lines that you're not going to use. Knowing which lines that you use is something that a professional artist has to know. You are going to have a lot, like a lot, of lines that you ultimately are not going to end up using in a sketch. But you should always be very free when you sketch because it helps your expressiveness. It helps you be able to express yourself if you don't hold yourself back. So be sure to be super duper free with yourself when you are sketching. It's okay if you make a messy, messy drawing because that's what the eraser is for. And I use the hard eraser, but you can use whichever one you're comfortable with. I also sometimes use the softer erasers when I am doing something where I need a certain effect. So we are fleshing out this Corgi's body, and he can be a little bit fluffy there. So let's just do that, and that. Okay, now we've got a basic Corgi sketch here, but the eyes do look kind of creepy still. So I'm going to use this lasso marquee tool, and I'm going to use that to move it narrower so that the face is a little bit better. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can draw whatever, and if it's on that layer, you can use this button, which is a scale or rotate button, but it also means that you can move it. So it also allows you to move it, but only generally on that layer, I believe. So we moved that. We've made his face look better. So let's go back to our pencil. I use a blue pencil because that helps me differentiate from the lines that I am inking. So we'll put this up here. We're just fleshing out his ears a bit, giving them a more three-dimensional look. Now we can add a little bit of fluff over here, and you can do it like that, or you can do it in a more rounded way to give him a fluffier appearance. All you have to do is just go in with that eraser, and there you have it. Super fluffy Corgi. All right, now we'll bring in that chin a little bit. And Corgis are very fluffy dogs, so why don't we just make some lovely little fluffs? We can erase all the parts that they hide. This little guy is so cute. We'll add a couple of little teeth there because Corgis have teeth. And with the eyes, you can add little eyebrows and add little cheeks to give the cheek shape. I also recommend brightening up the eyes a bit. And you can do other things too if you want to. You can do more of the eyes. That was a horrible attempt. We'll just go back and we can do that. We can give him... That gives him a rather frenetic appearance, so I think I'll probably remove that. I don't know, it's kind of cute, but also right here is where the nose is, so we can give that a little bit more three-dimensional view. And with this, we have a place where the nose is, but noses on corgis are a bit more triangular than that. So let's make it a little more triangular. We'll do a rounded sort of shape with a basic triangular feel to it. Now we can go forward and just get rid of all the sketchy bits that we don't need. If you want to add little nostril bits, you can do that, but it's not necessary because this is kind of a cartoony corgi. Now, for the feet, they're not actually that big and round, so let's just make them a little more dainty. And here is this one. And we'll do this one too. And this is part of 3 dimensions. So add some nice shading back there, and it will be lovely. It'll make your corgi look like he is facing you, and there's part of his leg. Let's develop that. All right. Got a lovely, lovely corgi here. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't he adorable? All you have to do to add a little bit of three-dimensional quality is to add some shading. So it's very easy to do. You don't have to worry about being absolutely perfect. You can probably just shade that in since it's in the back. Remove the parts that you don't want to give shape. Redraw any parts that, if you erase too much. And there you have it. You can also go through and add little bits for his toes. And here's a little corgi who will be your friend. You can also do this in other colors, and if you want to draw in a specific pencil where it's like blue, like mine, all you have to do is come over here and have this layer selected, and it'll say Effect, and there are many options here, Expression Color. This means you can turn it to grayscale, which will be this, or monochrome, which is that. Grayscale is various grays. Monochrome is black and white, just black and white, which is why it looks so weird. But we can go back to the original blue, and if we do this, it is the layer color option. So we're still in color, but we can make it whatever color we want. So layer color here, click on that, and we can make it a shade of gray. As you see, we could make it a shade of pink if we wanted to. We could basically do just about anything we want to with that color. This is a very useful tool because it allows you to change everything on that layer to whatever color you please. But we can just undo to where we're right back. If you want to ink the corgi, turn the opacity here on this layer while you have it selected down to about half. That's what I usually like to do when I ink stuff. Add a new layer. Now you may want to lock the opacity of this layer, lock the transparent pixels so that you don't draw on it. Because if I have my pen, I can only draw on the actual lines. So it really won't matter very much. But you can also fully lock the layer, which may be more helpful. So if I fully lock the layer, it will tell me that I cannot draw on that layer. I advise this especially for beginners, but old hands like me have had problems too. So whenever you get your sketch completely how it's done, maybe click that little lock. But you can unlock it just by re-clicking it, and you can just draw as what you like. When you're inking, I don't suggest you are this far out, because as you can see, it is difficult to make out what the hell is going on here. But if you go in, you can more easily choose which lines to keep and which lines to get rid of. As you can see, inking is a different sort of process, but I can tell you more about that some other time. I hope you will enjoy this video, and I hope it'll help you draw your own Corgi. I'll be back with some other videos, and hopefully we will have all kinds of fun learning how to draw different things and learning the functionality of the very useful Clip Studio Paint. I'll see you again. You're welcome. Bye.